It's all corrupt, but you choose through divide who to hate. Corruption is at all-time high at the highest levels, up to the clouds. But who do you hate? Who do you blame? Who do you point the finger at? Well, yesterday I did a video of Stop the Catholic Hate. This year alone, I've received hundreds of messages, emails, texts, all kinds of stuff. People hating on me and saying I would follow you if you weren't a Catholic. Let's take a look at that, and let's take a look at your corruption. Stop the Catholic hate. So there's lots of bad comments, lots of good and bad comments on here. Sorry, Mike, Jesus wasn't a Catholic. Christianity was first, and Catholicism didn't start to 1300. As a Catholic, I believe that Jesus Christ did not set out to invent a religion. Jesus Christ did not set out to invent Christianity. He did not set out to invent a religion. There's other people after Jesus that have claimed or set out to invent. Jesus never set out to invent a religion at all. So that's what I believe as a Catholic. His mission was to come to earth and spread the good word. And then it manifested and it grew, and the good word spread around the world, right? So now people are tying me to the Pope. The Pope's doing this. The Pope is doing that. The Pope is evil. The Pope is a Jesuit. The Pope is this. The Pope. So what? I'm not part of the Vatican. I have no ties to the hierarchy of the church. I don't even care what they say up there. I'm on the boots on the ground Catholic. I take care of my neighbors. I really do. I take care of, strangers. I polite. I love everybody. I'm in with everybody. I try to help everybody as much as I humanly possibly can. I'm doing my community. The church, the Catholic Church, is at the level of on my street. I don't go beyond to bishops and cardinals. I don't even care. I care about my fellow man in church. I just care about my surroundings as a Catholic on the ground, right? So you guys want to tie me to the Pope. You want to tell me that I'm evil because the Pope said this and the Pope said that. What if the Pope has to say that? What if the Pope has to bring down the Catholic Church? What if the Pope needs to burn it to the ground? And then us on the ground, the little guys, end up paying for it. Okay. So people need to understand that Catholicism ushered in going through the motions. And it's very important that we keep, through Catholicism, the breaking of the bread. And it's every Mass, there's a breaking of the bread where Jesus gave his body to us and said, take this, all of you, and eat from it. This is my body, which will be given for you, right? Will be given up for you, right? And the Catholic Church streamlined this, and baptism, which is very important and very sacred, and marriage, and communion, which is the breaking of the bread, and keeping these rituals, or keeping these things alive, because that's what Jesus did when he was here. It's recorded in the King James Bible, which is read in my church and my Catholic church. And then people say to me, well, you pray to Mary, that's evil. Well, here's the deal. Without a Mary, you don't have no Jesus. Mary gave herself to God, and we got Jesus. Without Mary, you got no Jesus. And yes, I do pray to her and thank her for giving herself, because without her, there's no Jesus. And you guys, I don't understand that. Every time you pray to Mary, you're praying to the devil. I don't understand what that means. I don't get it. And so let's go to you guys now. You live in a corrupt country. So let's look at a Canadian or American. You live in a corrupt country. Your country's completely corrupt. So do I segregate every American or every Canadian I see and British or whatever, Australian, because their country is corrupt? So because there's a hierarchy of the church, of the Pope, and if he's corrupt, and, they believe in what the WEF says, so what? I don't care. It's because they have to, because they're bringing it all down. There's a reason for it. So we all burn, and that's what's going to happen. So, okay. So I don't go around saying, oh, Americans are all this, all Americans are that. What for? There's no point. There's so many different walks of life, so many different backgrounds, so many different understandings. So I don't blame, oh, but their country is so corrupt. Okay, now let's move into government. 91% of all governments all over the world are corrupt. We saw that in 2020 when they pulled the trigger on the pandemic. So like 91% of all countries are completely corrupt and corrupted to the core via governments. So do I tie every American I see to Barack Obama? Do I tie every American I see to Biden or Harris? Do I tie every American to Trump? Do I tie? No, because that's a hierarchy. When you're comparing me and what the Pope is doing and saying I'm evil, well, we got a problem here because it doesn't work like that. I'm on the ground, on the boots, on the ground, Catholic. And I do my things. You know, I do as positive and as, you know, as much as I can, right? And so your government is corrupt. So yeah, now let's flip the page here. You work for the government. More and more, as countries are becoming socialized and communist, more and more people have to take government jobs, right? Back in the day, no, you worked the corporate ladder back in the day, and then you opened your own business. But the last thing you wanted to do is work for the government. Oh, that's the last thing you wanted to do, right? But now you work for the government. You're working for the government. So I say, oh, your government is evil to a government worker. The government worker would look at me and say, well, that doesn't pertain to me because that's a higher level of government I have no reach to. Same thing. I have no reach to the Pope. I have no reach to the hierarchy of the church. Okay? So when you're blaming me and saying that this is that and the Vatican's doing this and the Vatican's doing that, that's not me. I'm not doing any of that. I lent my neighbor, one of my neighbor's tools. I lent a neighbor, like quite a few blocks away from me, some money because they were gonna. Actually, a few neighbors have been telling me, or people have been telling me, they're gonna lose their homes because they're behind on their property tax. So I've already helped one person out to catch up, and I went with them and paid their property tax so they wouldn't lose their home. Right, and there's a couple of others on the burner right now. I'm going to contact and say, hey, do you need some help still, or are you okay? Right, I don't know. I try to help what I can and when I can. Okay, so then you got your news that's corrupt. Your news is corrupt. Everything on there is corrupt. Oh, I haven't seen cable in years. I haven't this and that. I've been offline. I don't even follow any of that crap. Right? Right. Because, obviously, they're trying to sell you a narrative. So you got it. But there's a lot of people that do watch it and follow it. That's the problem. So you label all of them as going against you. And then you have your controlled information distribution. You got your Rumble heroes, your Twitter stars. You have all these YouTube influencers that showed up after COVID to tell you what you already know and to confirm with you that what you knew was always right and the Catholics are evil. Okay. And your education is completely corrupt. We were talking about the whole student loan fiasco back in 2012 on our channel, and it was taken down. That was on our previous channel, so 2011 on our channel. We did the whole student loan fiasco, and we actually interviewed a few people that have college degrees that just basically went nowhere because it's all corruption. And instead of letting the banks deal with student loans, the government took over, and then you can't go bankrupt on your student loans. It's all corrupt from the bottom up, top up, front, back, left to right. And your military, all the military is corrupt in different branches. Not all, but most of military is corrupt in different branches. Families are corrupt in all different sorts of ways. Not all families, but a good majority of families are corrupt and will do anything to be ahead of the next family or whatever it is, right? So when you guys want to judge me and hate on me for being a Catholic, then shame on you. I mean, you want to put me down. Oh, we want to educate you so you know what's really happening and this and this and that. You bring down the Catholics. You bring down God. You bring down everything. You guys, this is all designed for this. This divide was purposely designed. There's a couple other religions I can name off right here that you guys could look into and debunk and really debunk if you really wanted to. I know a religion that has 27 different Bibles. I know a religion that has 27 different Bibles. But they chose one of them in 1918 that they're using today. But all those other books are starting to resurface. They're starting to question everything. I mean, really question everything. But instead, you want to come for the Catholics because the Pope did something. They got you. The Pope did something, all right. Oh, yeah. But they got you now. They got you hating me. That's how they got you. So last church I went to at Mass, what do? We said an Our Father. We prayed for those to free them, to free the enslaved souls, and then the priest read from the Bible, the King James Bible, the story of the prodigal son, and the prodigal son read the story. And then the sermon last Sunday was about the corrupt media and misinformation from corrupt media. And the priest was urging people to look outside of what they're telling you and why they're telling you this. So that was that. And then we said an Our Father, an Apostles' Creed. Then we did the breaking of the bread, where the priest reenacts the whole Jesus giving his body to us and blood to us. And from there, we gave each other a sign of peace. We did, and what else? We did another Our Father and probably a Hail Mary and a Lamb of God. And the Mass is ended. Go in peace. So that's it right there. So I don't know, unless you go to a church. Oh, and then people will message me. I'm an ex-Catholic and I'm this and that. And yeah, I don't know. When I go to church, that was my last. And the one before, the sermon was about the corruption in the evil, financial system. That's what the sermon was about, and not to take on an incredible amount of debt and to take on what you could afford. Stop believing what they tell you could afford. Yeah, stop believing what they tell you could afford. That's what the sermon was about. And we read that time the story of Jacob, and then Jacob and Isaac or whatever. We read that story. That was part of the church that 2 Sundays ago. Then the one before that was the one about it was a parable of the mustard seed, right? And that Jesus told. So you guys, I don't understand. Like, I don't. It's just, it is what it is. It's just, unfortunately, the divide that they've got us on. John F. Kennedy was a Catholic, arguably one of the best presidents that ever lived. He called out the corruption. He called out the secret societies. He called out the Fed. And what did they do? They killed him. So if you guys want to judge me for being a Catholic, or you don't, at least listen to this one message I said. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody. I just want you guys to understand that there's corruptions on every level, on every facet, on everything that's corrupted. The church, yeah, it's corrupt. Oh yeah, every church, every single religion has some sort of level of corruption to it, right? And depending on how deep it goes, it affects the smaller people that are trying to do good in the community, that are trying to feed the poor. I've fed quite a bit of poor. I have. I've been giving out canned food here, not to shelters. I've been giving people some money that needed to get by. I've been helping a lot of people. Right? It's because that's what I was taught in Catholic school. That's what I was taught at the church. And I do my best if I can. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I look forward to reading your comments on this. And thanks for watching. Mike Martins here. I have spoken.